Hey everybody, Locked On Georgia Tech is here. Hope you're having a great Friday. We're going to have a great episode for you because I want to tell you who could be the next superstar on this Georgia Tech offense for football. I think it's going to be interesting with the new influx of talent, the new offensive coordinator. We're going to talk about that and more here on Locked On Georgia Tech, today's show. Can't wait to have you. It's going to be a ton of fun.
You are Locked On Georgia Tech, your daily podcast on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Listen, we're having a great day. We're excited to have you. Happy Friday. Welcome in to Locked On Georgia Tech, your daily podcast talking about all things Georgia Tech. We got a fun show for you. We're going to call it a Fun Friday. We're going to take a break from some of the stress that is this week and hope you're enjoying it as we get ready for the weekend. We got Chip Long media availability later today, and so excited to bring you some of that news. If you want to see some of the news, check me out at Bryce_Koon to go right there, and make sure you do that for all the latest updates regarding Georgia Tech athletics. You can also, if you want to watch the podcast on YouTube form, then hey, if you're watching it already, great. Hit the subscribe button. The numbers are climbing. We're almost to 150 subscribers. Keep that rolling. Keep that going as well. And then if you listen to it audio only, maybe on your ride into work or drive home from work for the weekend, we appreciate that as well on all of those podcast platforms. I want to thank you for making it your first listen each and every single day. You guys are killing it on the numbers. Going to take a little bit of a non-news approach to today's show. We're going to have fun with it. So let's have fun with it. Who could be the next superstar currently on the roster offensively for Georgia Tech? I'm going to talk about, I've got one guy in mind. I've mentioned him multiple times, but I want also to open this up to you as well. Who could be that next superstar for Georgia Tech? But first off, let's talk about who has been and what constitutes as a superstar for a team anywhere. What do they have to do? One, they have to impact the program, not only from a marketing standpoint, but this has got to be a player that gets to be known national recognition, nationwide. It's got to be somebody that stat-wise is filling up the stat categories, making Georgia Tech one of the leaders, maybe in an individual category or helping out in a team category. So all of those progress right there. What does it have to be? We've seen guys like Calvin Johnson. We've seen guys like Demaryius Thomas. We've seen individual players that have that ability to, do a great job and be able to take the next step for what Georgia Tech has been able to do. But who could be next? We're going to talk about that here today. Can't wait to dive in with it to you. I wanted to kind of note that. What does it have to be? And listen, Calvin Johnson, obviously very, very talented. I've got it right here in front of me because this is unreal. Let's look at his college stats. Just in case for some reason you didn't know. Freshman year, 12 games, okay? 12 games. 48 receptions, 837 yards, 7 touchdowns. He also had 3 rushing attempts for 10 yards as well. 2005, his sophomore season, 12 games, 54 receptions, 888 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Junior year, he exploded. Saw the uptick in receptions, the uptick in yardage, over almost 400-yard increase, and more than double touchdowns scored. 76 catches, 1,202 yards, and 15 touchdowns. He also ran the ball 7 times for 30 yards. He did have a rushing touchdown back in his freshman year. Everyone knows Calvin Johnson. Everyone knows Megatron as well. That's a big one. Now let's go and look at Demaryius Thomas, because that's one for me that is another opportunity. Obviously, Demaryius Thomas, the passing of him, prayers still to his family. Hope they're doing well and everything. But this is interesting to me. Back in 2007, Thomas, 35 receptions, 558 yards, 39, 627, 46 receptions, 1,100 yards his junior campaign in 2009. He also saw an uptick in touchdowns from 4, 3, and then up to 8. And he had, let's say, 32 career rushing yards in a triple option offense. Mind that. So what constitutes, and you probably maybe see where I'm going with this, of what is a player that could break out? Who's my breakout candidate? Listen, a lot of it has to do with the offense that's going to be run at Georgia Tech. A lot of it has to do of, what they're wanting to do. If you read some of my articles over at GoJackets.com, 24/7 Sports, we've put guys out there that are in similar positions as to this current player that's on the roster. I think it'd be a massive breakout candidate here in 2022. But I think it has all to do with the offensive scheme, the offensive coordinator that's brought in, and allowing this certain player to blossom into that. And you look at some of those numbers, it's going to be a gradual increase. Now, do we think he's going to burst onto the scene over 1,000 yards this year? I don't believe so of total offense, but I think this young man has the ability to be a difference maker this year, while next season it continues to build off of that and really starts to build one of the better resumes in college football. We're going to get to that in just a second, but I think it's very interesting. Hey, I want to let you know, first off, this is it. It's the chance and it's an opportunity to win the tournament. And if you sink it, the championship is yours. But on your backswing, your hat falls over your eyes. Is this how you're running your business? Poor visibility because you're still relying on spreadsheets and outdated finance software? To see the full picture, you need to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle. Over 28,000 businesses already use NetSuite. For the new year, NetSuite has a new financing program for those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/locked. It's the #1 cloud financial system, and with visibility, control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, growth, and more, NetSuite is everything that you need to grow all in one place. With NetSuite, you can automate your processes and close your books in no time while staying well ahead of your competition. Head to netsuite.com/lock for the special one-of-a-kind financing offer through the new year on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. Once again, that's netsuite.com/locked. Back here on Locked on Georgia Tech, and I think that we're going to get to the person in a second. But I want to read some of the numbers of what this offensive coordinator has done in Chip Long, because I think that we've seen football players come through Georgia Tech and have, obviously guys like Darren Waller is going to have a great NFL career. It's something that, let's go through some of the difference makers. Let's just do that. So the best football players, this is some of the best football players, top 10 all-time NFL players for Georgia Tech. All right, so let's roll. Number 2, Dorsey Levins, running back out of the 1994 draft. Levins played 8 seasons for the Packers from 94 to 2001, 2 seasons for the Eagles, 1 for the Giants, and was a member of the Packers team that won the Super Bowl and then advanced to another one. He was a one-time Pro Bowl selection. Obviously, this one, everyone knows who this is. Number 9 coming in on this list on NFL.com is Marco Coleman. 1992 draft, first round picked by the Miami Dolphins, played there from 92 to 95, and 96 to 98 was with the San Diego Chargers and the Washington Redskins from 99 to 2001, before finishing up his career in 2005 with the Broncos. One-time Pro Bowl selection. He also had opportunities with the Eagles and the Jaguars as well. Sitting at number 8, it's Bill Curry, the 1964 20th round, drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Drew Hill, sitting in that 7th spot, 1979 NFL draft. That's an interesting one for me. Maxie Bogum, 1960 NFL draft. This is a big one for us Atlanta Falcons fans. 1990 NFL draft, first round pick by the Falcons. Keith Brooking comes in at number 5. Number 4, Pat Swilling, drafted in the 3rd round by the Saints. Joe Guyon was not drafted back in like 1917, like really long ago. Number 2, Calvin Johnson. And then who do you think number 1 is? It's Billy Shaw after the 1961 AFL draft. But I want to paint the picture because I think it's important to understand what is a superstar at the college level. What kind of impact do they make? And we went through some of the top players in Georgia Tech's history that's made it to the NFL, and that's a list that I didn't generate. It's NFL.com's list that I was reading off for you. But with what a superstar is obviously, I said it earlier in the show, it's a player that can make a name for himself individually, but also elevates the team. He takes the team to a different level because of his skill set. So who are some of the superstars we've seen in the past? Well, let's go back to 2020. Devontae Smith for Alabama was one of those. His innate ability to run routes, to catch the football, and to make guys miss yards after catch was elite. Jalen Waddle, the same thing. Joe Burrow. Obviously, he elevated LSU to national title status. I'm not saying this player for Georgia Tech that I think is a breakout candidate could do just that this upcoming year, but we're just constituting what does one of these players, what do they do? Joe Burrow did a great job of that at LSU. And I think that when you look and you see kind of what's going on with this next stage is Georgia Tech has to have a player that the fan base can say, hey, this guy, like, we know him on the national stage. Obviously, quarterback is one of the positions that you think of immediately, but I want to halt the brakes there because I think it's not a quarterback for me that's going to propel this team. I think to a national relevancy, it's going to have to be someone else. And I want to say it so bad, so let's go and say it. Leo Blackburn is the guy for me. Leo Blackburn has all the talent in the world to be kind of that next guy, the next opportunity, the next big name wide receiver / tight end flex, whatever you want to call him, that can make an impact on his game. I'll never forget, I'm sitting there at practice, I guess it's last August or July, whenever it was. It was August because it was the first day of fall camp. And we're sitting there, and Jordan Yates goes back to pass, throws a pass in the corner of the end zone where Leo Blackburn is matched up against a safety, and Leo Blackburn mosses the safety, catches in the corner of the end zone. Great throw, great catch. But what did we see on that play from Blackburn that makes me think he can be a breakout candidate? Well, the biggest thing we saw was, 1, his speed for his size, 2, his route running, and 3, his ability to high point a football. This is a kid that, listen, the tight end position has continuously evolved, and I think Leo Blackburn fits the mold of what the modern day tight end is. I'm going to talk in a little bit about why I think this is such a great marriage between Chip Long and Leo Blackburn. Blackburn's skill set, obviously we all know the injury that he had was not available this season. Georgia Tech was desperately missing that. They're going to have a guy in Luke Benson that comes out. Is going to be a great player for them, I think, for this year. But Leo Blackburn's upside is the best in that room. It's one of the best on the team, and this is a kid who very well has all the potential to be one of the top players at his position by the time he's done. I think that he has all of that talent, innate ability to do just that. So I think it's interesting to see, hey, what can he do? What can we do to kind of maybe take that next step for that? Because it's going to be very interesting to see Blackburn's development has to do this job. We're just going to talk about that in just a second. But Leo Blackburn is indeed my breakout candidate. But I want to let you know what's also a big breakout. BetOnline would like to wish you a happy new betting year. And as we continue the march to the playoffs and beyond, BetOnline remains the #1 spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. A new year with a new updated desktop and mobile website to go sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code LOCKEDON to get started. And listen, it doesn't matter if it's from football, basketball, hockey, NFL, right down to your favorite Vegas casino games. You don't need to wait to take advantage of this opportunity and all the amazing offers they have available for this year, 2022. Make sure you got that in your calendar. It's the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. Bet online, where the game starts. So I've said Leo Blackburn, the cat's out of the bag. Leo Blackburn is my breakout candidate offensively, and I want to tell you why. The reason why is the marriage between Chip Long and Leo Blackburn, I think, has the ability to open up this game and then add that explosive element that Georgia Tech has missed in the passing game. We're not going to count option because it wasn't what they did. But now that they're trying to shift to that, Chip Long is going to be one of the best coordinators that could have come in when you talk about money, when you talk about fit, when you talk about where the program is and what they're realistically going to be able to attract. I like this hire. I think that this is a good hire, and it allows Georgia Tech to take a step up in kind of being creative in play calling. And who does that benefit? Well, it benefits a guy like Leo Blackburn that is a matchup nightmare for defenses. Chip Long loves to use the tight end. Listen, he was at Notre Dame, and you can rattle off a list off the top of your head of Notre Dame tight ends / wide receivers that have gone on to have success at the next level. That's what excites these young players. And a kid that we were talking to through recruitment the other day, I said the same thing. The track record's there, the resume is there to see exactly what he's done. So why not take that for what it is? Why not have that opportunity to move up into that standard? I think it's fantastic. I think it's great. Blackburn's going to be able to benefit from that. He's going to be a weapon. He's way too good not to be a weapon. He's way too naturally gifted. Now, obviously, the rehab process is going to be something to monitor and watch. But listen, ACL injuries are not what they were 20, 30 years ago. Modern medicine is developed. Rehab has been heightened. These kids are faster and stronger. Nutrition is a lot better than it was 20 years ago. All of these factors, I think, are going to be able to bring Blackburn back to essentially what he was. And what he was, and I told you that, and we didn't get to see him in game time, but watching him in practice, he has that innate ability to take himself to the next level. He's going to get bigger. He's going to get faster. He's going to get stronger. And I think that's what the scary part is if you're a safety or linebacker, if you're a defensive coordinator scheming against Georgia Tech and you see him on the field, you don't know how to handle that. And Georgia Tech's going to have some more weapons, and all this is obviously contingent upon, because I know the negative Nancys and the naysayers say, well, if the offensive line doesn't do anything, it doesn't matter. And you're right. I get it. You're right. But in this aspect, for me, it's going to be key to watch how they go about this kind of thing, because if some things are clicking, Blackburn's going to be an option. It's a safety valve. He's a matchup nightmare. Jeff Sims is going to feel comfortable with that exchange, especially as they go through spring practice. They go through all these different things. Leo Blackburn is a guy to watch in this next level, because I'm telling you, in this new offense, this explosive offense, I think he's got the potential to be something very, very special and a weapon that Georgia Tech has missed in recent years out of that position. He's going to line up as a flex. He's going to be able to put his hand in the ground and block. He's going to be able to also line up in the slot where it's a nightmare. I'm telling you, a safety guarding a tight end in this new age of college football. You saw it in the national championship game with what they have over in Athens. You've seen it with what Alabama's had. You've seen it with LSU in their national championship run. The ability to have that position that can be explosive, and the kid's a great athlete. Holy cow. Now, there's a lot of things that have to come together, but this is reason for excitement. And, I think that it's going to be interesting to see how it's developed, and we're going to learn more today, in fact, of, how he plans to utilize it. But if the track record shows anything, this is what Chip Long loves to do. He's going to be the tight ends coach and the offensive coordinator. He's going to have his hand directly in the development of Leo Blackburn, but also while scheming plays that are tailored towards him for the entire offense. And it's going to open up opportunities, and it's going to create another weapon and a safety valve and anything you want to call it for this next level. I think it's going to be a ton of fun to watch his development. Hey, this has been Fun Friday, a really, really quick episode. I appreciate you tuning in. Let me know. Maybe you don't think Leo Blackburn's kind of the next big gem on Georgia Tech's roster. Maybe it's somebody else offensively. We may talk about defense next week. Who do I think the next defensive standout is next Friday? But for this Friday, it was Leo Blackburn and the offense, and I think it's going to be a ton of fun to kind of see how that progresses and how that moves forward. This has been Locked On Georgia Tech. My name is Bryce Koon. Cannot wait to see you next Monday. We're going to start unveiling and rolling out our guests as we get more comfortable here on YouTube. But what I need you to do is you need to subscribe, hit the notifications button every single time a video is dropped. They're going to be coming out every single morning. You can also follow along on the podcast as well. We appreciate it. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy it. Take a load off, maybe just enjoy it with the family, go out with some buddies, have a good time. This has been Locked On Georgia Tech, and I need you to check out Locked On Bets as well. They do a fantastic job over there. Make sure you do it. It's been a ton of fun talking to you.